So, how do we stop Trump and the coup? Take it down a notch. Can we start with that? Is that really so hard? I know it would be easier if everyone bad would just... But that's not a plan, and they're not going to. It's up to all of us, right, left, and center, to fix this by de-escalating. So here's everybody's first assignment. Captain Kirk was blasted into space last week. And yes, you could use that to make a point about how we need to tax the super rich more, or how we still have problems on Earth, or toxic masculinity. Yeah, you could. But how about this? Don't. Just enjoy.
Bill Maher isn't pulling punches anymore. He's taking direct aim at the modern left and laying out exactly why Democrats keep losing their grip on national voters. His message has been consistent. Drop the extreme fringe politics and reconnect the center. Instead, the party doubled down. That's when Maher snapped, and what followed was brutal honesty. If you want more unfiltered takes like this, hit subscribe now and stay locked in.
When people despise each other, it doesn't matter what the issues are. When someone hates you, they don't hear what you're saying, let alone want to work with you on an issue. Today's Republicans don't have issues. Oh, they have issues. Just not like the ones they used to have. Balanced budget. They care about that about as much as they care about the new season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Owning the libs is the only issue. Obamacare wasn't a horrible or radical policy. It was desperately needed by many of the people who fought it. But it came from the people they hated. Democrats keep thinking they can win over voters who hate them with better policies. You're dreaming. Democrats are always asking, why do Republicans vote against their economic interests? Because they hate.
Maher's point may be uncomfortable, but it's real. Hardcore Democrats aren't converting Republicans, and hardcore Republicans aren't flipping Democrats. Those camps are sealed shut. Their opinions are locked in, their media bubbles are airtight, and persuasion is pointless. The real fight has always been about the middle, the quiet voters who don't live on Twitter, don't worship cable news, and decide elections without making noise. These people care about rent, safety, jobs, and whether the country feels stable. If Democrats want to win again, they need to stop yelling at the extremes and start speaking to everyday Americans. Elections aren't won by activists, they're won by people who just want life to work.
Know this syndrome very well. You can have an act that kills in a good way. But if you insult the audience, if you make them hate you, dead silence. They will not give you that laughter. And if they don't laugh, it's not comedy. It's alternative comedy.
Politics has turned toxic on both sides. Many Democrats won't even associate with Republicans anymore, treating them like social outcasts instead of fellow citizens. That hostility kills cooperation before it even begins, and Republicans respond with the same level of distrust. Over time, this turns into something worse, the belief that the other side isn't just wrong, but dangerous. Once that mindset sets in, compromise feels like betrayal and conversation becomes impossible. Instead of debating ideas, both parties retreat into echo chambers, feeding caricatures of the opposition. That's why real bipartisan solutions are nearly extinct. When trust dies, governance collapses into gridlock, outrage, and endless political theater.
So, how do we stop Trump and the coup? Take it down a notch. Can we start with that? Is that really so hard? I know it would be easier if everyone bad would just... But that's not a plan, and they're not going to. It's up to all of us, right, left, and center, to fix this by de-escalating. So here's everybody's first assignment. Captain Kirk was blasted into space last week. And yes, you could use that to make a point about how we need to tax the super rich more, or how we still have problems on Earth, or toxic masculinity. Yeah, you could. But how about this? Don't. Just enjoy it.
It doesn't have to be this way. Politics shouldn't be built on constant suspicion and automatic opposition. There should be space to recognize success, even when it comes from the other side. If a left-wing policy actually reduces poverty or improves employment, it deserves support. If a right-wing policy strengthens the economy or creates opportunity, it shouldn't be rejected out of reflex. Good ideas don't become bad just because of the party label attached to them. When loyalty matters more than results, progress stalls and everyday people lose. Supporting effective policies isn't selling out, it's putting outcomes over ego and the country over party warfare.
Enjoy it at William Shatner, national treasure, spirit animal to virgins, and I assume reverse mortgage salesman. Went for a rocket ride and came back. Not everything has to be political. You want to heal America? Shut the up for a while. Facebook went down for 6 hours a couple of weeks ago. We need to make that happen.
Maher nails it here. If anyone genuinely wants to bring the country back together, they have to stop turning every issue into a political battlefield. That's where resentment grows. When everything becomes partisan, people stop listening and start digging in. Endless ideological shouting doesn't unite, it divides. The solution isn't pretending differences don't exist, but recognizing progress when it happens, no matter who delivers it. If something works, if lives improve, if the country becomes more stable, that should matter more than who gets the credit. Politics should be judged by results, not tribal victories. When good policy wins, America wins, no matter the party.
All the guys in America like Joe and Elon, yeah, you do have to win them back. The good news is you can. Elon has gone from saying, I love Donald Trump as much as a straight man can love another man. To a week ago saying, I'm a little stuck in a bind here. I don't want to speak against the administration, but I also don't want to take responsibility for.
Maher's warning to Democrats is blunt for a reason. If they want to regain lost ground, they need to win back voters who walked away by dropping their obsession with woke excesses. According to him, the party lost its focus when it stopped addressing everyday economic concerns and started catering to a loud ideological fringe. That shift didn't just alienate conservatives. It pushed out moderates and old-school liberals who believed in practical solutions, not social experiments. Many of them didn't become Republicans out of loyalty. They left out of frustration. Maher's message is clear. Elections are won by listening, not lecturing.
Gettable voter. Someone who's mulling a change. Maybe this will put quietus to the nonsense that Elon and Rogan too went to the dark side. I hear that they went to the dark. Yeah, like they got that The Last of Us fungal infection and became zombies. No. They just got driven away, because that's how politics works these days. One side gets elected precisely because the other side was just in power and pushed their agenda way too far and drove people in the opposite direction. The pendulum swings back and forth with people not voting for anything, but just to get rid of the latest extremist ass who tried to remake America in their image.
Maher argues that the Biden-era left made a major miscalculation by trying to reshape American culture instead of simply governing competently. Rather than prioritizing stability, clarity, and problem-solving, politics became a project of ideological transformation. That's where things unraveled. Policy debates turned into cultural redefinitions, even challenging concepts many Americans thought were settled. Science, gender, and language became political battlegrounds overnight. For a lot of voters, this didn't feel like progress, it felt like confusion forced from the top down. Maher's point is simple. When leaders focus more on lecturing the public than fixing problems, credibility collapses fast.
Republicans have taken full advantage of how snobby and out of touch Democrats have become to claim the title of Party of the Working Class, but Trump's big, beautiful budget cuts Medicaid by $723 billion. Steve Bannon says a lot of MAGA is on Medicaid. Yeah, it is. 42% of MAGA voters say Medicaid is important to them. Let's see if they...
Republicans took advantage of the growing belief that Democrats had lost touch with regular Americans. While Democrats focused on scolding voters and enforcing cultural rules, Republicans positioned themselves as the alternative. Maher points out that this didn't happen suddenly. It was the result of long-term drift. Empathy became a slogan instead of a practice. Real empathy means listening, not shaming. It means meeting people where they are, not demanding ideological obedience. Maher believes Democrats can still reconnect, but only if they return to genuine understanding instead of moral lectures.
Best person I've ever met. The one person in Hollywood who doesn't have a single enemy. Well, now she does. Because she didn't throw her husband under the bus when her husband made a decision about something which she's made plain she disagrees with, but that didn't satisfy the obnoxious posers on the aforementioned far left. Thousands tweet screamed at Cheryl things like, "How do you live with yourself? Do better. I can't even enjoy the episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm with you in them anymore. It's no wonder Larry divorced you." Yeah, that's a character on TV, but okay.
Maher says cancel culture became one of the left's biggest self-inflicted wounds. One moment that shocked him was the backlash against Cheryl Hines, not for opposing progressive ideas, but for refusing to sacrifice her marriage to prove political loyalty. That incident exposed how extreme the purity tests had become. Agreement wasn't enough. Shared values weren't enough. What was demanded was total submission, even in personal life. Maher saw this as a line being crossed. When voters see people punished socially for refusing to destroy their private lives, cancel culture stops looking like accountability and starts looking like intimidation, and that drives people away fast.
Yeah, well, you know what I think is not gutsy? Mansplaining to a woman, but of course not to her face. How she should sacrifice her marriage. Also, you could read something on Twitter that met with your approval. You want to know why I have a bug up my ass about the left more than I used to? It's shit like this. There's an ugliness they never used to have. The liberals I grew up respecting, none of them are like this. Going after the wife, even the
Taken
mafia.
together, Maher's criticism explains why Democrats continue to struggle nationally. Ideological battles replaced governing. Purity tests replaced persuasion. Cultural enforcement replaced common sense leadership. Meanwhile, Republicans didn't need brilliant messaging, they just watched the left overreach. Maher's argument isn't conservative, it's corrective. His calling for a return to reality, moderation, and respect for disagreement. Until Democrats learn to speak to the middle, reward results regardless of party, and treat voters like adults instead of students, they'll keep losing ground, no matter how loud the activists get.